So I've noticed a disturbing trend the last couple of days. A great disturbance in the force, if you will.
As if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
That being that the media and social media platforms in general are greatly defending Amber Heard, and with the overwhelming evidence that Amber Heard is in fact an abuser,
I fucking was hitting you.
And with the non-existing evidence that Johnny Depp is one himself, it's a trend that makes no fucking sense. Now some of you might be thinking that with all the YouTube videos of Johnny roasting Amber garnering millions of views, and all the TikToks making fun of Amber's horrible acting filling up your FYP, that the last thing social media platforms are doing is defending Amber Heard. And I countered this argument by saying that although these videos only aid in us hating Amber even more than we already do, in reality, they don't really make much of an impact on, well, anything. They have no real influence on what's going on between Amber and Johnny, and in turn, do nothing to help Johnny Depp get the justice he deserves. At the end of the day, they're just silly entertainment, which is fine, as silly entertainment helps distract us from how miserable our lives really are. However, when damning evidence against Amber comes out that can help Johnny Depp get the justice he deserves, these social media platforms will pull shady shit to prevent said evidence from being seen. For example, during my video Amber Heard might have killed her best friend in a car accident, I laid out a plethora of evidence that essentially proves that Amber did something bad in her past, with the likely candidates being intoxicated manslaughter and or intoxicated assaults, both of which could help Johnny Depp get the justice he deserves. And in an effort to bring attention to these past transgressions, I produced my findings in the form of a video, thinking that a title like this would guarantee millions of views and widespread distribution. And despite appearing as though I was correct at first, as my video accumulated over 6,000 views in a single hour at its peak, boy was I wrong, as YouTube pulled the plug on my video, resulting in it struggling to get even 100 views an hour later that same day. From over 6,000 views in an hour to less than 100 views in an hour. It was at this moment where I could smell what The Rock was cooking, and whatever it wasn't poutine pie. Also at this moment in time, I was promoting a teaser for my video on TikTok, a teaser that I had to keep uploading because every time it had accumulated a couple thousand views, TikTok would mark it as sensitive content, which whenever that occurred, would stop the incoming views dead in their tracks. And even though I was proposing the possibility that Amber killed her best friend in a car accident during the teaser, believe me when I say that I've seen way worse shit uploaded on TikTok not be taken down or be marked as sensitive content, which led me to the conclusion that TikTok must be searching for damning evidence against Amber and taking it down. And my assumption was quickly proven to be correct, as I noticed that the Amber Heard is a liar hashtag, which I included in my post, was no longer clickable in my list of hashtags. When searching the Amber Heard is a liar hashtag, a hashtag with supposedly 2 billion combined views, the search came back with nothing, as if no one had ever used the hashtag before. CNN corroborated my findings by saying that the Amber Heard is a liar hashtag no longer appeared viewable on TikTok as of Friday evening. And even though other hashtags critical towards Amber are still available to view, it made sense that the Amber Heard is a liar hashtag would be taken down in particular, because of all of them. It was the one hashtag that included the most damning evidence towards her on average. Now that it's been proven that social media platforms like YouTube and TikTok are defending Amber Heard, let's prove that the media is doing the same as well. Now even though only a couple of small media outlets have tackled the rumor that Amber killed her best friend in a car accident so far, none of which I'll name in this video for reasons that will become obvious in a moment, every single one of them came to the same conclusion that there was no chance that the rumor was true. And what was their reasons to come to this conclusion, you might ask? Well, that's the problem. They didn't have any reasons. Yep, they pretty much said Amber didn't do it.
And that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so.
And if there's one thing that I learned from all the journalism classes that I took, perhaps the only thing that I learned, was that there is not a lot of money to be made in journalism. And because so, many journalists are willing to sacrifice accuracy if not full-blown make shit up, if it makes a difference between their story making it to the front page or ending up on the cutting room floor. Two things that they didn't even have to do in this scenario, as the rumor that Amber killed her best friend in a car accident has plenty of reason to be true. You know something's up when little bullshit media outlets like these turn down a big story for seemingly no reason. And it's not just these little bullshit media outlets either, as the New York Post and Sky News were caught photoshopping tears onto Amber's face during her testimony. This is because photos that were taken from other outlets at essentially the same time were void of those yummy and sweet tears. And I'll be the first to admit that I fell for these photoshopped images, as I used one of them for the thumbnail of my last video. And not because I wanted to make Amber look more human and less of the blood-sucking vampire she really is, but just because I liked the stupid face she made at that moment in time. By the way, if the Washington Post publishing Amber's op-ed when evidence was already out that she was an abuser doesn't show that the media is defending her, nothing will. Of course, the New York Post, Sky News, and the Washington Post do not represent the media as a whole by themselves, but all three of them have significant sway in public perception. You could also include Saturday Night Live in the list of groups defending Amber Heard thanks to the sorry-ass cold open they did, in which they not only invalidated Johnny's trauma by having him smirk all the time, but also blamed Johnny for Amber's violent behavior in the first place. But unlike the New York Post, Sky News, and the Washington Post, SNL is not a media outlet. Rather, they are a joke joke, and an unfunny one to say the least. What is funny, however, is how in their effort to not offend anybody, SNL managed to offend everybody with this embarrassing excuse of a cold open. But yep, this is just some things that I've noticed the last couple of days that I wanted to share with you guys. Because even though I'm sure many of you have noticed the same shit, perhaps some of you have not. And this is the type of shady shit that really shouldn't go unnoticed. I also just want to take a moment to vent, as I'm pretty pissed over how little views my last video's gotten so far. And I thought that putting this video out might do something to help it out. And even though my last video hasn't gotten shit for views so far, it definitely isn't your guys' fault. As I implored all of you to share the video, and you guys delivered in strides, as almost 20% of all its views so far have been from shares, which is an incredibly high amount for YouTube, so thank you to everyone who shared the video. You guys are the best. With that said, our combined efforts might have been in vain, however, because at the end of the day, if the evil galactic empire known as YouTube doesn't want your video to be seen, it won't be seen. And it's fucking criminal that they had to choose this of all videos to shadow ban, a video that can help Johnny Depp get the justice he deserves.